galaxy is vast, but like a time free to explore it. I'm searching for that little gem, scanning deep not to ignore it. Hope I find somewhere where the sky is blue, parking lit just like this in view. To the night, fields of hope surround me on this planet in the night. Each system that I pass is a chance to find a sweet one. Sweep my scanner fast, and then the devil's in the detail. That's the fun, the fun. Looking wide and high for a new light alive, hoping that this is the one. Life springs up, it reaches to the light. Fields of hope surround me on this planet. Life springs up, it reaches to the light. Fields of hope around me.
So this song is called Touchdown, and the Birds, who might be watching, they might be watching, okay? But yes, they made a lovely video for it, sort of thing. But we're going to sing this, aren't we, now? You right?
I'm good.
Let's go.
You all right? Here we go.
Dust on my feet, feel the weight of my bones, hear the breath in my head. I am free for the first time. Touchdown, my eyes are believing. See my friends on the ground, hear the steps, hear the sounds, watch them fly to the hills. For the first time, let's start this odyssey. Spring steps in front of me. My eyes are wide to see the future. Let's make this odyssey frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future of this odyssey. Touchdown, this place is bubbling. Watch them run, watch them fire, have a drink, start a fight, climb a ship, see the sights for the first time. Touchdown, we are greeting. See the look in their eyes, some are high with this prize, others fight for their lives. Yeah, we are meeting. Let's start this odyssey. Freight steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see the future. Let's make this odyssey frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future. Bullets fall like burning chaff. The celebration turns to violence. Laser fire makes shields go blue. Explosions fill my burning ears. Humanity has come to stay. With all our thoughts, fear and anger, joyous in this wondrous fire. Let me slip away. Let's start this odyssey. Straight steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see the future. Let's make this odyssey frontiers for us to see. Vistas for wide, this is the future. Embrace the future. There's a light in the night, and it won't go out. Now I found you. There's the heat so close that I never feel cold. Now I found you. I was alone, out in the dark. Then I saw hollow squares all around. Now the combs call my name every night. Now I found you in the depths, gazing brightly at the neutron star. We share the field, scooping jet cones, leaping to the edges of the night. Oh, I was alone, out in the dark. Then I saw hollow squares all around. Oh, I was alone, out in the dark. Heaven was all around. Oh, let's jump together. Let's jump together. Let's jump together. Let's jump together. 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 Oh. See the lights blink. Oh, everyone's a soul. Feel the new light. That's the far they blind. Feel the engines roar. Let's engage in
jump together. Let's jump together. Let's jump together.
Let's jump together.
Let's jump together. Let's jump together. Let's jump together. Thank you so much, Psyche at AKT. You're amazing. I was quite shambolic, but that's just the way I do things.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders. Welcome to episode 499 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and otherwise known as Colin Ford. But joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar already, we've got... Oh, okay. Discord was being a bit so yeah, I am your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, and joining me in the Sidewinder bar for this episode we have our SRV Banksy, that's Commander Alec Turner.
I'm going to say that is true.
Excellent. We have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire.
Hi, I'm also here.
We also have our is the Chris Mark.
Hello.
What's that? Colin, we might be losing you a little tiny bit, I think.
Oh, lovely.
Just to make you aware, there's a little dodgy bit of you, but I think everyone else is okay right now. Knock on wood.
Yes, hang on a second. I will sign out and try and reconnect.
Perfect. Well, in that case, we have the Chris Mark 4.
Hello.
There we go. And we also have doing the tech stuff and doing some talky talks, hopefully as well, because he was at ECM too. It's the Chris Mark 5, both members of the Chris Collective.
I was here the whole time.
I see what you did there. Hi, folks. Welcome in. If you wish, you can join us live. We are, the Chris Mark 4 is hanging out in game in open at the bar in Lave Station. I'm assuming you're popping up the bar at the regular table, my love.
I'm about to pop up at the regular table. I am about to log into open. I am just arriving at the station. Someone reserve me a seat. Thank you.
Copy that. You heard it here first. Okay, if you can't get in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live, clicking on live chat, and via twitch.tv/Lave Radio. Hi, folks. How you all doing? Let's check with Colin. How's it going, mate?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
He says just before, and
No, don't do that to me. Do not do that to me. I'm still really fragile. I can't deal with this. Please don't. Let's not have any more tech issues, please.
No. Well, let's hope not. So, let's quickly go around the crew and see how they've been. So, Claire, you can kick off first.
Hey, I've been. I don't want okay. Shall we do a
aside from ECM, what we've been up to this week, and then talk about ECM in a
It's
little
going to be a
bit.
quick intro, but go for it.
Well, I mean, we could talk about ECM for like 2 hours and make it a whole show. What have I been up to? I have done a bit of engineering in Elite. I spent 4.5 hours filling up every single manufactured material that I have, so I'm never going to need to do that again. I probably am not in the distant future, but I've filled up all except for the 2 that you get as mission rewards predominantly, and I've just got to do a repetitive thing going backwards and forward between 21 Eridani to get the rest of them and get them all transferred over. But it was a fun time doing that. I don't take back anything that I said, but we'll probably get to that a little bit later. Aside from that, outside of Elite, I didn't mention this last week, but I have started the Insanity run on Mass Effect, that game that I barely talk about ever. Started the Insanity run on Mass Effect, completed Mass Effect 1. We're now on Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, it's like, hey, we heard you like Insanity, have more Insanity. It's really difficult. If you've never done it, I'm finding it incredibly difficult with my broken hands. But I'm also having so much fun challenging myself to do something that I would never normally do. So that's been really good. Everything else that I've done this week has been ECM related. So I'll stop there.
Excellent. Okay, we'll move on to the Chris Mark IV.
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, obviously, aside from ECM, the Edinburgh festivals have started in Edinburgh, so I have been in town enjoying some of that and trying to get some little interviews and bits recorded. Trying to dive into that today because I've not had much to be able to do over the last couple of weeks just because of being busy and such. In game, I have finally got my hands on a Python Mark II that I have been flying around and trying to get a bit of engineering done so I can use it to bomb the next available Titan, which appears to be imminent in terms of conditions to fly. So I was like, do you know what? I'd really like to be able to take my shiny new Python to go and do some bombing. So doing a little bit of engineering after gathering some materials and things and trying out the new engineering mechanic, basically.
Excellent. Alec.
Hello. Yes, so outside of ECM, what have I done? I followed last week's show's advice and got my 2 million on a Titan that didn't explode. But I was safe. Had it gone, and I should be getting another 2 million this week, I guess. I went to see 2/3 of Borderlands with my family, and then we left because it's a big steaming pile of shite.
No, you actually left the movie halfway, like 2/3 of the way through.
Yes.
That bad.
I thought it sucked balls. What else have I done? Oh, I know what I've done. I haven't bought a Python Mark II, and I haven't bought a Type 8, and I haven't tried all the new engineering things because it's my turn to do a buckyball race, and I ain't got one yet. So, so I'm now working furiously to try and come up with a buckyball race in the next few days. It'll be fine. I've got a plan.
I've just got the impression of Alec in a room surrounded by fire going, it's fine.
It's fine. There's a race here somewhere.
Excellent. The Chris Mark V. He's gone quiet.
Yep. So what have I done that isn't at all in any way related to ECM? Well, I did some materials collecting and then couldn't find one grade 5 that spawned inside a HGE, which 3 other materials spawned in. So I spent 3 or 4 hours this morning flying around trying to track down one. So I have thoughts about that. Other than that, to be honest, I've been mostly spending time away from the computer because it's warm. Too warm. But yeah, just get my head around the new engineering. I kind of like the changes. I think they're good. I still hate HGEs though.
Fair enough. Right. Well, apart from doing the ECM, I decided I was going to be a hauling hero for Lave. Since the Blight and the Scourge event, there was an interstellar initiative, I think about 3-4 years ago. All Lave could produce was coffee and Lavian brandy. So I was going to be the hero that transferred as much agronomic treatment I could from Leasty, and it was an idea to make Lave fully agricultural again. So transferred all my stuff, cost an absolute fortune, left the ship in Leasty so that I could I'd be ready to go. We had the update, messed about in the Type 8, went down to ECM, came back, did the first trade run, only to find that, I swear, in update 18.08, Lave has been fully restored. So I didn't need to do any of that because they fixed Lave. That's 20 million than 20.
Amazing.
That's really funny. That's really funny, and I don't feel that's really, really funny. That does happen sometimes, though. Things change, come an update. I'm surprised that you did anything before waiting to see what happened on the update.
The last week, Lave had only had coffee and it only had Lavian brandy for sale. So there, I thought, right, I don't even know if the hauling the treatment actually stops a blight or restores a blight anymore. So I just thought, well, let's see if they're still in there. And well, didn't need to bother there then.
Oh no!
Check the system status before you did it.
No, you got to remember the blight. The way the blight works is it wipes out all the agricultural crops. So what you've got to do is you've got to take the agronomic treatment to the affected system, and it will slowly build up. But nobody's been doing that for Lave for absolutely years. So that was it.
But I thought blight was a specific system status, though.
Yeah, isn't blight just temporary?
It's not completely temporary. You've got to fix the blight by hauling the treatment.
Well, does it kind of stay in blight indefinitely if you do nothing? I suppose it's hard to put that to the test. But...
Well, what it doesn't do is it comes out of blight, but what happens is that all the agricultural commodities disappeared.
I see.
Store the agricultural commodities if you hold the treatment. But yes. Oh, I've been told no, it goes eventually.
Yeah, I just thought it went eventually. I swear. I may very well be wrong. I'd have to look it up and stuff. But
no.
right now I can't be asked, mate. If I'm honest.
Well, so that's weird because if that's the case, Lave was a special case or it must have been a special case because last week, like I said, it was just coffee and it was just Lavian brandy, when it should have had the whole lot, or grain and all the rest of the agricultural stuff, and yeah.
Well, it was in blight last week. Yeah, we established that.
Well, no, it's not in blight. It was still missing the commodities. See, when the blight goes, but the commodities are still missing.
If only we'd been to a convention where someone like Dav Stott was around to ask questions about this kind of thing.
Ask questions about that, yeah.
If only. Oh man, maybe there might be one next year. Everybody bank that for a question that might happen next year. And nobody will.
I know. We're going to be those people with a list. Now, where's my list?
Oh fuck no! Any of you start doing that, I'll break all of your legs.
I've been listing questions. Oh yeah.
No, we did see people being sort of cornered during that weekend. Going,
that was a long time ago. That wasn't that. To clarify, that wasn't that wasn't over the weekend. People didn't get cornered over the weekend, did they?
No, I don't think so. I
didn't see anyone get cornered.
Oh, I
If you
did.
did. Did you actually? Oh, I'm gonna be breaking some legs, man.
Anyway, moving on from there, the development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, they haven't said much, but they did show something.
They sure did.
Yes, a teaser.
They definitely did. It was cool. It was cool. It's the back of a ship for our for
our radio listeners.
Let's paint a word picture. So basically, what you can see is the back of a ship. There's like two engines on top of each other, two engine belts on the back, on the top of each other. There's a somebody stood within the lower one with like an angle grinder of some kind, and then a someone in a Artemis suit stood a little bit further back.
Yeah.
I didn't even, when they showed that at ECM, because it was on a screen and it wasn't the highest resolution screen. I honestly didn't notice the little people, and I thought this ship was much smaller.
Yeah. And
same, and I pressed the button and I put it into the slideshow. So what can I say?
I believe people are reading an awful lot into the fact that he's wearing an Artemis suit, although I don't quite see how you read a lot into that.
Mate. It's a ship for exploration. If he's
because he's wearing an Artemis suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
but I mean, there's only 3 suits to pick from.
Yeah.
could it not just be that the guy's an engineer? He doesn't need to travel far, and that way he's in a lightweight suit. I don't know. See, I thought it would be more likely there would be maverick suits because they're working on a ship. You know, they're doing something industrial. You know, that's.
Well, no, this guy was just looking at the ship. He wasn't actually doing any work.
Right, that's true. He's just admiring it.
I think it's a Type 7 because it says 07 on the hangar door.
We've got Type 7, so we've already got a Type 7.
Another one. I'm being silly now. Sorry.
7 Mark II.
I did like a piece of analysis, which was someone trying to work out if it was going to be on a large pad or a medium pad. And they were going, well, the average height of a person is this. And if we duplicate the person this many times, then we can get the height of the ship. And because it's X height, worked out by duplicating people on top of each other, it means it's on a large pad, was what they were trying to work out.
And
but then there was a bit of an argument over it was just enough or not quite enough.
But also, pad 7 on a Coriolis, and we know it's pad 07 because it's fucking elite because of 07. But pad 7 is a medium pad in a Coriolis. So there is an argument to say that it's a medium ship because it's on pad 7. But also, it's only pad 07 because you know what we're like.
But there's also a little engineer who's actually inside one of the engines with an arc welder.
Yeah.
So you know that's. I mean, are medium ships' engines big enough to shove yourself in?
This one's is clearly.
I mean, to me, when I looked at that, I thought those look like bigger engines that you find on a Diamondback.
They do look a similar style to that, don't they? Like the engine that you've got on the back of a Diamondback.
Yeah, they do, but that's the wrong configuration, though, isn't it? I mean, that doesn't, obviously it doesn't.
We've kind of got. Because what have we got there? Have we got 5 engines visible, or is that like 2 vents and 3 engines that we can see in the picture?
I think it's 4 engines there with the person in the middle engine.
Stephen Usher makes a good point
I'm counting the one on. Sorry, Karen.
Sorry, no, sorry. I was just going to say Stephen Usher makes a good point in chat, which I had also heard, was that this was thrown together fairly quickly, so it is entirely possible that the people aren't to scale.
Oh no! Oh, those poor boffins who are zooming in at every angle. We might. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in that case, it's actually shoe boxes that are stacked next to the door on either side. There, it's just the person's very 100%.
Small. Little biggin.
Yeah, so there's another way to tell. The Galnet that came out recently by the Type 8 said that they believe the medium ship form, I guess you would call it, is the best one to make full advantage of the SCO. So knowing that, because this is a new one, it's going to have an SCO, it's probably going to be medium. Unless they're going to break the mold and do a big ship, but I don't see that happening.
I think I agree. I think they're all going to be mediums, actually.
You think they're all going to be in mediums? Although, to be honest, when they said these ships were going to be variants, the Type 8 is not a variant. It's not a variant of anything.
So let me clarify very quickly about this one. Not this one, absolutely not being a variant, because I sat down next to Zach and we went, well, if this is going to be a variant, and he went, it's not a variant. So they've already gone back on that. This is a brand new ship.
Yay.
So it's definitely not a variant. I am assuming that means it's going to have a slightly different looking cockpit, because I think that's the only thing that makes the Type A a variant of any of the other two type ships.
Yeah. Well, that cockpit is a cathedral on the Type 8.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my headset back, because the VR headset has had to go away for repair. So, yeah, I can't wait for it to come back. So I can look around in the Type 8 cockpit, because it's huge. So yeah, so the new ship. Excited? Well, it's a new ship, so I hope you are all excited.
Nah, I'm pretty nonplussed, actually. Like, we don't really need any more new ships in the game. The fuck you on about, Colin?
No, yeah. This looks kind of class, this rendering, actually. I do like that. I think it looks really neat, isn't it? It's a good tease. It's a good tease.
It's good tease. They did a really good job in obscuring most of the ship and only showing us its nice ass.
Yeah, it's great. It's funny.
Well, that answers a question or two. Right.
We might keep an eye out on Sunday, because our question of the week is probably going to revolve around it.
You mean that question that comes out sometime around 2 to 3 o'clock while
it depends if I'm traveling or if I'm having a nap, but yeah.
You know what I'm thinking, just looking at this picture, I'm feeling another Spot the Difference coming on.
That's not Spot the Difference.
Do it, man. Let's do it.
Excellent. Right, well, I think we'll hand over to Alec then for the community news.
I'm being quiet. I was waiting for my theme music.
Yeah, I was waiting for the theme music as well.
And now,
there it is.
To the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Don't come on the stage until they play my music, innit?
You gotta have your big opening.
Well, this is a little bit embarrassing, because I've been to ECM and I've been all like hungover and tired and shit, and I ain't got any community news. However, what say we pivot and talk about ECM?
Oh yeah, all right, go on then.
Yeah, well, it is community, isn't it? I mean,
it is. I mean, it's nothing but community and nothing but community.
So yeah, we'll shake everything up. This is ECM, the Lave debrief.
Oh my god!
and yes, I literally mean debriefed.
Oh man!
Do you want to explain that first, or lead it, or build up to that?
I think we'll have to build up to it.
I really want to start with it, Colin. I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me what the family's reaction was to you bringing those pants home. It has to. This is my burning question of the whole entire session.
Dear. Right. Well, for those of you who weren't at ECM, allow me to explain that I won the literal booby prize or booty prize even, of the Hutton Orbital Pants, which was these were used on a charity cycling expedition, and have been vacuum packed and held in a strict light up box, which just for human safety. Yes, I won them. And I've brought them home. The box was almost smashed thanks to very careless people in the train home. Can you imagine what would I would have been patient zero from whatever happened from that.
Yeah. I'm just picturing the scene. There's green gas escaping from a crack in the box.
Yeah, the news report saying for some reason the cross-country train to Manchester turned up with everybody dead. Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. But yes, it's light up presentation box. My daughter has seen the presentation box. She pulled a face which is reminiscent of a Disney princess. Again, you'll only get that if you're at ECM, and I'm not going to explain it. And then, yes, the missus hasn't seen it yet, and I'm half tempted to record her reaction because I think
Please do.
I'm going to slip it into one of the cupboards and just leave it there.
Like your airing cupboard.
Yeah, I mean, your airing cupboard does have a lock on it, so.
Oh yes, there's a lot of in jokes here for those of you who aren't at ECM.
So okay,
mostly at my expense.
So we will be putting there will be individual like episodes or sections of things that happened at ECM going on to wherever David wants to put them. I'm going to ask him very nicely if we can do the Lave, the Would I Lie to You. I've just seen the picture that went up on the stream and it's made me a little bit emotional. The Lave, Would I Lie to You thing. Hopefully we should have that on our YouTube at some point, but give me time to edit them.
Excellent. Can't wait.
Oh, it's got to go out raw.
I mean, it will go out raw, but I just need to separate it. There's like a 40 gig file and a 30 gig file. Let me cook with those.
Some of it's there already. If people are desperate, you can just go to the Hutton Twitch and
the Hutton or the Lave Twitch. Both of them
11
have
hours
them.
of
Nonsense.
11 hours of nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll just point out that Chris and Psychic were running tech very well for the entire event, so that should be applauded. Of course, we had everybody else running around like crazy, keeping things ticking over. Vintion is certainly to be applauded just to get for actually organising the whole thing, and of course we had Snaz and all the rest of the Hutton truckers all going above and beyond the Call of Duty to pull it all together. Now we do have a load of photos, which some of them will be appearing on the live stream at the moment, but we'll just like wave to Vintion, Beetlejude, Katie Chaos, Witherspoon, Jeannie, Katiana, Anthony Hunt, Ascorbius, Zulu Romeo, Alec Turner, Tant, Flossie, Telly Solomon, Darren Stevens, Seawolf, and Oscar Romeo, who've also put photos in the big.
The big photo box.
The big photo box, and
Chris has stolen all of the pictures from to show on the team.
Yes, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. Right. Well, obviously, we'll go around and see what everybody was up to and what their highlight was. So let's see. We'll start with Claire, surprisingly enough.
Good Lord.
What were you up to, and what was your favourite bit?
Oh, man, there were so many. I get really emotional talking about it because I loved it so much. I had such a really, really, really lovely time. I think there's audio on that video that you're playing, Chris, just FYI. But I had a really, 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 really lovely time.
Can we come back?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm double checking that Chris has managed to remove the audio from the video, which is what's going out. Chris, husband of types. No?
Video's finished. Plow on. Video's finished.
Okay, cool. I will plow on. Yeah, I had a really, really lovely time. I predominantly went when knowing we were going to do the little Lave live bit, which I adored.
You adored, yeah.
I adored the live thing. I put my heart and soul into it, and I really, really adored that. It was very, very late on that at like last minute, a couple of days before before Lave, before ECM, I messaged Tom, and I went, do you need like a female, like a vocalist for some of your songs? Because I know that he has Helly sing on a lot of his music, and I was like, do you need a female vocalist? No worries if no. And bless him, bless him for going and getting doing some stuff, and we did some rearranging of some music, and we did that. And I haven't sung live for a really long time, and I was so nervous. Chris will attest to this. I was so nervous. I was fucking shaking, and that was lovely.
It was brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
I just loved it. It was great, and I miss it, and I miss all of you guys, and I want to do it every week. But then I would probably die, so I don't want to do it every week. But I did. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Excellent. Okay. We'll move on to Alec. So, what did you do, and what was your best bit?
What did I do? Well, the first nice thing to that did help is that the strategy worked. The strategy of drinking lots of water in between drinking lots of alcohol. Actually, I mean, this shouldn't come as any great surprise, but yeah, it works. It definitely works. So I had a really good Saturday rather than feeling like absolute shite, which is what happened last year, and that really helped me enjoy my Saturday a lot. It was also really funny, just Friday afternoon, just turning up and wandering outside, and Psychic and Katiana were already sitting out there with big with pints and big bottles of water, and it was just really funny that everyone was really leaning into the water strategy.
It was so hot though, Alec, as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I guess my highlight, I mean, I have so many, but in a way my highlight was that my subtle mob thing worked, because I honestly didn't know if it would or not. Let me explain it for those that weren't there and are wondering what the hell it was. Basically, it was 2 MP3 files, and you picked one and you played it at exactly 11:40 a.m. And what they did was instruct you, more or less, with a load of ambience and stuff. So one team, the people who picked heads, were security guards, and the people who picked tails were infiltrators, and the people that weren't playing the game at all were NPCs. And the idea is that the idea is that the infiltrators had to scan NPCs without them seeing, to get security clearance. And every time you scanned an NPC without them seeing it, you could stick one extra finger out on your left hand, which was behind your back. And then the security guards had their right hand behind their back, which was how you identified the two, and had to find infiltrators with stolen security clearance and scan them and make them put one finger back again. And I think it basically bloody worked. I had some feedback that people didn't quite understand because they missed the beginning or something. But on the whole, it worked, and we had a final score, which is that I think the security guards managed to score something like 28. I did a very rough count. And the infiltrators won with a score of 35, and we had about 30 people doing it with an amazing split. It was almost exactly, I don't know, 15 or so people on each side of the room at the end. So yeah, only bloomin' worked. So I was delighted with that, and I was able to enjoy the rest of my day stress-free.
Excellent.
That's the strategy, Alec. That's the strategy. Do your thing in the morning so you don't have to worry about it. Whereas I had the 3:30 and then 9.
Actually, thanks for reminding me. That was the other nice thing, is that kind of tucked in the middle of this stupid game where everyone's scanning each other. There was I couldn't decide if it was cringy or not, but I've been to quite a few LaveCons and ECMs in the past now. And I often hear people afterwards saying, "Oh, I wish I'd spoken to more people. I came all that way." And for a lot of people, it's their first time and they're very nervous. So I did want my thing to be an icebreaker. It was deliberately early because I wanted it to be a little icebreaker. You go off by yourself and you listen to it, but you end up saluting people and pointing at people and having a little laugh. And then afterwards, you can go, "That was good, wasn't it?" Or you can go, "That was shit, wasn't it?" And so, yeah, it was. And I think that worked. A few people said that it was a really nice way to start the day, which I'm chuffed about, because that was the idea.
It was so fun to watch people walking around taking part in it as well. We were setting up stream parts, but we had headphones in, so we were listening to one of the reels. So it was just fun watching everyone sort of going about. You're going, oh, I know what they're up to.
Yeah,
Really annoyingly, literally yesterday, I suddenly realised there was a role for the people that weren't playing, which is that if you spot somebody scanning you, the idea is you're meant to scan people in secret. So if the NPCs, the people not playing, spotted someone scanning them, they could have called out, "Security! Security!" which would have been really funny, but I only thought of it yesterday. Oh well.
Well, you can store that up for next year.
Yep. Bigger and better next year, definitely.
Okay, we'll go to the Chris Mark 5.
Oh, favourite bit about ECM? There's like everything, like meeting people that whose names I may have just seen on things was amazing. Obviously listening to Psychic
Thank you.
sing is always a pleasure. And there were so many dogs. I pet like 2 dogs at ECM. It was amazing.
I knew you were going to say something about the dogs.
Yeah, I pet like 2 dogs. It was amazing.
I don't want to make you jealous, but I managed to time my my walk out on Sunday to meet all 3 of the convention dogs at the same time. So I got to pet all 3 of the dogs in one sitting, which was fantastic.
I think that's cheating.
We had Alvin, Bodie, and Tigger were the free convention dogs.
Is Tigger the Dorse?
The Dorse, yes.
Yeah. They were very amusing. Also, it's quite interesting. They did do a little bit of looking at tech and trying to understand what people were working with, and I'm actually kind of gobsmacked that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, that everything actually worked, because it was hell of a complicated. About all the different feeds coming in from the Artemis room and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, it's just very impressive what people managed to pull out with what they had and get it all running. And apart from the small issues with the bar, it was a really fun time, and I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to next year.
Yeah. We'll continue with the Chris Collective. How about you, Chris Mark 4?
Well, obviously, the big bit was getting to see everyone, right? It's sort of a once a year thing where you get so many different people in the community together, and it's great managing to catch up with all of you, obviously, and a lot of people that I've now met. This is the 3rd event I've done now. So it was really good to sort of see familiar faces and sort of getting used to meeting different people, which I thought was really, really nice. Highlights for me, I mean, I spent a lot of the time at the stage hanging out with Psychic, which was obviously wonderful.
That's me.
On the stage, we had a couple of different things that were really big fun. Obviously, the Lave "Would I Lie to You" thing, I was absolutely nervous about taking part in before it happened. I did not have a beer or anything before that started because I was so worried about what was going to take place. But it was a lot of fun. That was very good to do. One of my highlights from the stage, which hopefully will be one of the things that gets clipped up, is the sketch that Arthur took part in
Yes.
with Jack Little and others taking in, which I just thought was very well written, very, very funny. Hats off to Dave for writing that down, because it was so good. I did see random requests in the chat before ECM looking for a bag of snakes. So it was like one of these sort of, hang on, pardon? What pardon? It's like, I need a bag of snakes brought to the convention. So yeah, I think the Frontier sketch they did this year was very, very good. The music set was just something very different to the end. LCU in there. Tokuso, that was my first time seeing Tokuso play live.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I just think he was fantastic. And the banter in between songs as well, you know, managed to really engage the audience with that.
Yeah, people that weren't there, I mean, because there's a lot of background to some of these songs. They've been written about specific things like the Gnosis incident, or and it's nice because Tokuso sort of explains, where the song comes from and what it's about. It's really funny and interesting.
Yeah, that was it's definitely one of the highlights was the Tokuso live set. The LCU was up to his usual singing talent. I think came across very well though.
My brother-in-law had never heard like LCU songs before. Like had never heard him at all, and he said he was brilliant. And my brother-in-law doesn't like a lot of stuff. he is Yorkshire through and through, so he's incredibly critical and really enjoyed LCU.
I mean, LCU singing Radiohead's "Creep" it has to be seen.
So funny.
It is really funny.
And for some reason, his voice really works. It's
yep.
Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I was running at the time. The Elite Miniatures game, which I was really enjoying doing. Of course, we did the Lave radio skit where I really do wish that I'd had a lot more beer before we even started that.
You're the opposite of me. You wanted more beer before doing it.
Yeah, I think I was going to go down the more beer route. I think in retrospect.
You know what? I wish I'd borrowed someone's water bottle. I really do. So
in retrospect, I think you should have done what Dave did just before Dockers and like neck three straight whiskies or something.
Something like that.
Dave before Dockers had a beer in each hand.
he was double fisting spectacularly at that point.
Amazing.
Dave was so fucking done by that point. It was like beer in each hand. Incredible.
Yeah. The three miniatures games, we had a fantastic start game with Chris Mark V joining in. The Winged Hussars managed to win that one, even though they teamed up. And I have never seen them take down they managed to gang up 4 small ships to take down an Asp Explorer in the fastest way possible. So poor Homburger had to leave the table early. Although somebody limited themselves, said, no, I don't want to fly with a Fer-de-Lance. No, I'll take a T6.
Right. And did I kill a ship?
You did kill a ship.
There we go.
But you still lost the game.
I killed someone.
You still lost the game.
Wasn't he ganged up on? Haven't we just established that he was ganged up? Moral victory. Okay.
Nobody ganged up on the T6. They all went after the Asp Explorer. But someone said, no, I'll turn it. I won't bother with the T6. I'll go with I will bother with the T6. Don't want your Fer-de-Lance. I'm not saying anything more to that.
I don't think give them a chance.
How long do the games last, Colin? Do you get to do other things, or do they?
Manage to do other things. They take about an hour to run. So basically, it was 1 hour on, 1 hour off for the entire day. And next game up, we had that's the one Arf joined in at, and he won again. I can't believe that. Yeah, he managed to sneak in, but there was Arf and Ascorbius were joined in on that one. But the most fun one was the one at the end, where instead of having 4 people play, we had 6, and that just turned into a massive furball. And there was one guy who just sneaked in with the tiniest sidewinder, picked up the cargo canister, and got out while everybody else was busy trying to fight each other. So it was the excellent. Oh well, you lot are all busy. Well, I'll just take that. Thank you very much, and run away.
No one expects a surprise sidewinder.
No one does. of course, I did like the singing, including yours, Claire. I thought yours was wonderful, to be honest. But
I'm not asking you to lie, Colin.
What do you think? That's my lying voice.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I thought it was all right. Right.
Okay, you lot all know how badly I can lie.
Well, I mean, we have first-hand experience of it now. Coming soon to a YouTube near you.
God, that was humiliating. But yes, that's the. It was thoroughly wonderful, except for winning the pants. Yeah.
That was my favourite bit of the whole day. I meant to say that was my favourite part.
What, me shouting, "Oh, F no," and
you getting really, really pissed off at getting the pants was my favourite.
On the other hand, I won something really cool.
Oh, I was jealous of what you won.
Which I've never done before at any convention. It was awesome. So for people that weren't there, on the Lego table, they had one of those, I think they had two originally, actually, one of those massive Millennium Falcon Lego models. And basically it got dismantled and turned into I'm holding my hands up now trying to guess, it's an anaconda that's about 1.5 feet long, maybe 2 feet long, I don't know. Massive anaconda, which is now on my bookshelf. Looks bloody fantastic.
Oh, lovely.
In fact, I might post on socials because we we have a strict policy now on shelving in the house where if something comes in, then something else has to go. So an entire shelf of books is now in a cardboard box for the jumble. If I remember, I'll go and take a photo tomorrow and I'll post it on socials, and people can tell me if they think it was a good trade or not. This rack of books for this Lego Anaconda, I think it was a very good trade.
It depends on how bad the books are, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. Wintermute's saying he's seen the photo with the anaconda on the shelf, but what you haven't seen is the photo of the books that had to go.
Ooh.
I think it's a good trade. I don't. Yeah, Kremen's right. Kremen doesn't need to see the books. It's a good trade. It's a really good trade.
I mean, 2 of the books were both copies of Bob Dylan's Chronicles, and we all know.
Well, you wouldn't get rid of that because he's a cantankerous old bastard.
He is, so I've heard. I read it in the paper somewhere.
It was reported in the press, I think.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, there were other things happening at the same time. And we had the racing. Did anybody have a go at the racing rigs?
I did on the Friday night, actually. When we were setting them up, I was racing at midnight, but not properly on the Saturday when they were properly set up. I think it's one of those things that if you're familiar with it, it's great. But if you're not very familiar with it, it's fucking hard because it's a proper sim, isn't it? Assetto Corsa, so you spin out and all sorts, and you spend a lot of time just spinning around and hitting the wall. It's what I found.
It was a really impressive setup, though. They had 6 different driving rigs all built at the back corner of the room, so they had a really big race setup.
Yeah, I mean, I did have one try at it, but I mean, I should do better because my son always lets me use his racing rig, and it's exactly the same simulator. So I should do better than I did. Maybe I'd had too much to drink. I'm going to stick with that. I had too much to drink.
Sure.
Or not
I believe
enough.
you thousands wouldn't. Where's my lie button? I miss having those. I need to re-establish.
Next year we need.
Yeah. Also, there was Mr. Hankey at the back doing chess, which he played a couple of games and utterly wiped the floor with me, but as you would expect. Beetlejude was doing clay models, which was nice. The legendary Commander Crash turned up, and I thought he was a hobo who was visiting from the States.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he? I never saw Crash. I didn't know Crash was there.
If you looked for someone who looked as if he'd be at a Trump rally, that's Crash now. He's grown a 2-foot-long beard, and he was going around with a red cap which said "Make Elite Great Again."
Wow.
And he was just saying that, I find it really funny walking around like that because people just think I'm an absolute hillbilly. They're going, I'm not surprised. I didn't recognize him until he came up and said hello. That's how good his disguise is now. Also, sorry, it said make Amiga great again. Thank you, Kitty.
Right.
I knew it was something like that, but yeah. So there was also a whole lot of retro games up in the corner, and someone was running a Traveller game at the same time. But I think we were a bit too loud for them, so because they left to finish the game somewhere quieter.
I think it was Amelia from Hutton that was running the Traveller setup.
Yeah, it looked really fun, but it just finished. It was about 3/4 of the way through, just as like the program began to start, and they were quite close to the front, so they moved on to somewhere else.
Yeah, and of course, if you wanted to, you could take part in Artemis. Again, I missed out on Artemis this year because I'm too busy elsewhere, and it's always something I want to do. But mind you, knowing this slot when they've played Star Trek Bridge Crew, actually no, it's me and Ben used to play that a lot, and yeah, we weren't the best Starship crew.
We need to corner out a nice early window for us to do Artemis next year.
Yeah, our slot, the slot that I booked for, like me and whoever we could wrangle, just happened to fall during the Lave bit.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we just accidentally did that, but a really impressive setup that they've got for Artemis. In fact, they had new sort of computers and stuff this year that meant that we were able to get all the different cameras from Artemis that we've never been able to do before. So yeah, it was a really good setup they had. So we need to either be the testers on the Friday night next time, or we need to get ourselves an early slot in the morning.
That'd be good,
Just
actually.
instantly hightail it to Artemis.
Test it on Friday night. I like that.
Yeah,
because we didn't really have a solid game of Deer or Log this year, which was I don't know, just kind of didn't
I know.
But we won. That was one on the first night when a deer ran across the car that we were in.
I did like the fact that other people, like we enjoyed the game last year, and we appear to have passed it on to other attendees of ECM this year.
That's a legacy.
The legacy, where other people were sending pictures of Deer or Log to us when they were sitting out in the bar area.
Chris and I were pulling our fucking hair out and seeing messages coming through. I said, we found a deer. Worth it entirely.
That's the camera that we need to have next year. We need to have Deer Cam.
We do. Oh God. Did I say that out loud?
Yep. Oh dear. So yeah, moving on from there. I mean, we've obviously had some feedback from one of the second community question we put out. Silas Resi. I loved walking round the hotel, pointing at unsuspected guests, only to turn around and have Alec Turner give me the stop signal.
Excellent. Incidentally, can I interject because I have another favourite moment? So yes, I took part in my own game. I chose the role of security guard, and I really enjoyed this moment. I saw a Homburger at one point casually leaning against the window of the conservatory area with the hand suspiciously behind his back, and I thought he's hiding security clearance from the room quite clearly. Now in Elite you're allowed to scan people through the window, so I thought, well, why not? So I went in the garden and then snuck up behind him and then just tapped on the glass and scanned him when he turned round, which gave me immense satisfaction.
That's incredible. I love that so much.
Wait, so hang on. Are you making up the rules to your own game?
Yes.
So you could defeat
Well, I didn't explicitly say you couldn't scan through the glass. Come on, we all know how the game works. I think it was a perfectly legitimate move.
Yeah, sure thing.
Excellent.
You can't even go, oh, Alec doesn't make the rules, because Alec quite clearly made the rules. So if he's making a new rule as he goes, that's also fine.
Thank you.
Listen. I'm a forever DM. I will quite happily die on this hill. You make up the rules as you go along. It's fine.
Ballet, you could also drive SRVs around settlements. You should have just hopped in your car.
Sure.
Driving around the garden in my Skoda. That would have gone down well, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got Commander Homburger and said it was all wonderful. Wished I could have stayed for the music, but the highlight for me was a fantastic chat with Zulu Romeo. His Cobra's canopy was cracked for much of the journey. What a day! What a day! So I didn't have a chance to catch up with Zulu Romeo, even though I saw him about. But it's busy. It's one of those things where you see people about, and you go up to. Oh, I'll tell you one thing that did happen. Is I got just I was setting up the miniatures game for the first run. I got a tap on the shoulder, and it was Anthony Hunt who does all the wonderful blueprints. You've seen all the blueprints of the different ships.
Yep.
And he handed over to me the Lave Radio Sidewinder 3D print that he'd got. So I've got that up on the display at the moment, which was quite nice. I've got to get a proper stand for it. So I've got to say thank you to him. And then we did have quite a lot of people. I don't know about you guys. I had quite a lot of people coming up thanking us all. Well, thanking us all for Lave Radio. I don't know if anybody else did.
No way. You had one person. Where's my like button?
No, I had 3 or 4. Thank you very much.
I still don't believe you. I still won't believe you. You've heard the show, right? You know what it's like.
Well, it was quite nice, but never mind. Let's move on.
No. I'm joking because also yes, have had we have had comments not only in during ECM but like on other times. I have when talking about things, the fact that we endured one of the two, but we've gone through droughts, and we've gone through loads of different things, and somehow still managed to relatively regularly be able to highlight amazing things make up some shit, be able to highlight amazing things that the community are doing, and still talk about a 10-year-old video game. It is an achievement, and thanks to folks who actually do say nice things about us, because it does happen.
It does happen. Yeah. Right. Moving on from there, we've got obviously Witherspoon now. Best bit of the weekend when Psykit and Katie Kirst joined Tokuso on stage for Touchdown and Let's Jump. Together, at least partly, this was because it meant that LCU couldn't come back for any encores. I thought it was fine.
Beetlejude and Pete are one of my favourite people at these conventions. They run about, they chat to everyone. They're both absolutely fantastic folks. If you go to a convention and you meet Witherspoon and Beetlejude, you're in for a treat.
100%. 100%. Also, jumping on the back of that, another highlight for me was Witherspoon talking about how the Elite, when Elite first came out, Elite coming out is closer to the World War ending than now. Something that he said as part of Galnet News Digest, and then he went, "Fuck me," and I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's really funny.
God,
a collective, a collective oh no from the whole room going, oh, what?
Can't be true.
On a tangent, Museum of Scotland currently have a games section at the moment, and it has Elite in it.
Wow.
So Elite's old enough to be in the museum now.
To be fair, the first Nintendo Switch is old enough to be in museums. I know that for a fact.
I don't want to think about the age thing now. Right. We had Rootstat, who said the first ECM for him, but he is a LaveCon veteran though. Favorite bit, the overall energy and feeling of shared passion. I've been to many cons, but the Elite community's passion is truly one of a kind. It feels like a sudden outburst of overwhelming joy, love, and togetherness. Oh, that's too wholesome for me.
Yeah.
Too wholesome. Shall we?
It was
shall we
indeed
move
lovely
on?
to see Roots.
Yeah, it was.
So ECM, good grief. Well, hopefully, I think Dave's already getting requests about 2025. Obviously, it wasn't completely perfect because there was a couple of issues with the bar and things like that. But we'll leave that up to people to sort out for next time. I think there was a wedding reception at the same time, so the bar staff were everywhere. So, leaving the ECM behind, the in-game events of what's been happening this week. Well, there are currently 2 community goals in operation. We've got deliver submissions of classified scan databanks, cracked industrial firmware, and unexpected emission data to be delivered to Tanner Settlement Starport. And also there's deliver vital commodities for Utopia's initiative, which is being organised for the Guardians of Harmony faction. And they've requested animal monitors, auto fabricators, and microcontrollers to Tanner Settlement. Animal monitors? Why do they need animal monitors?
It's a strange collection of things, isn't it?
It is a rather strange collection of things.
Vital commodities.
Yeah.
Utopia are just weird anyway, aren't they?
Fair point.
Yes.
Maybe.
I mean, people
they are.
are
I mean, I've put.
Too. People are animals too.
People are animals too. What a profound, Chris.
They're monitoring everyone.
Are either of these at tier 1 yet? I know the data isn't, because they sent out a tweet going, please do it.
No, that's not at tier 1. Although it's in a heck of a lot better state than it was yesterday. When I looked at things yesterday, I was there going, that one's never going to complete because there's only a tiny amount that had been completed at tier 1. It's going better now.
It's 1.3%, 1.36% complete with 1 day left remaining, according to the Elite Dangerous website that I am looking at right now with the data. So I don't think it's going to work.
Well, I was looking at it just before the show, and it seemed to be a lot for the bar had been moved a lot further along. So I don't know if they've done a bit of jiggery pokery with it, but yeah. And I've been helping to haul the various bits for the commodities in the initiative. I've managed to do about 2,000 tons so far, and I'm still only in the 100% bracket. So people have been shifting.
Yeah, it's for the top 75, you need 1,344 according to Inara. But that's not at tier 1 yet. So in this instance, Frontier aren't going to give rewards to everyone for everything. But on the previous one, they did. Right, just so we're sure there's no real comparison between the two. So just because people shout loudly enough about it, that means they're going to get the rewards. But because no one shouted anything about this one, they're not going to get rewards. Just so I'm clear.
But this one hasn't completed though.
Well,
that's the thing with this, isn't it?
Chris.
It's like in the last one, all us heroes donned our capes to get it past that extra stretch.
You donned your cape after you.
Whereas with this one, no one appears to have donned any cape, and in fact, we've all sat on our capes and decided that we weren't going to play.
Well, I guess we need some fucking heroes then, don't we?
So yeah,
round trips to Jameson's.
I also feel that with this community goal, unlike the last one, 6 months down the line, I don't think we're all going to be going, oh, God, I wish I'd got that Cripsis yellow paint job now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean...
Chris Mark 5?
And it's not just the paint job, is it? It's potentially what would happen if Utopia was all safe versus what happens if it isn't as well? That's another part of it. I mean, there's going to be some consequences, right? Because actions have those. So it could be interesting to see what happens. Is Robo Savlon going to turn up? Are more people going to get Utopia stuff? Probably, including oh my god, what are they called? Azimuth. Are they going to get their mitts on some of the stuff by beating up
some of their animal monitors?
Yes.
Yeah, God, what are we gonna do? What happened? I think sometimes it's a given that these things are going to complete, and this obviously isn't. And I think the tweet encouraging meant, oh, we're going to have to think on our feet with this one to try and justify why it's going to go round that way, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, but I'm kind of hoping that they stick to the guns. If it doesn't pass, then it doesn't pass.
I think it needs to pass in order to release the ship skin, right? Because otherwise, it's pointless, isn't it? I think you need to stick to your guns on that. We criticised them before when they changed it, so let's not now criticise them if they stick to it.
Which is it though, Chris?
Which is it though? Yeah.
Which is it?
I mean, it's interesting though, isn't it? Because we kind of put the theory out there where we said, oh, if they had just made it a decal, then people would have taken part. And in this case, it's a ship skin. And it's not really drawn in the punters.
It does look like gash though, doesn't it? Let's be honest. It's not the nicest.
I mean, it is a bit 70s wallpaper-esque. And maybe...
Oh, that is a little unfair to 70s
to
wallpaper.
70s wallpaper. Sorry.
Beat me to my own gag there. Oh, right. But yeah, it's not the most attractive one.
Yeah, so it ain't going to complete, basically. So they're going to have to figure out a way round to do the narrative bits that they were hoping to do with this CG completing another way. Which will be interesting.
Yeah, it might be. So moving on quickly to the Thargoid War. Well, with all the excitement with the Type 8 and all the rest of it, it kind of took a little back seat for this week. It got close to Thor being vulnerable this week. Or rather, it would have been vulnerable last weekend. But that didn't cross the line. And it by the smallest of margins. Yeah, Wonder was just the smallest. But anyway, we've had 4 alerts this week, all of them being cleared so far. 6 invasions, all cleared this week. We were down to 383 systems, 8 of which have been cleared. There are 3 Titans, but not for much longer, and 14 systems are in recovery. Yes. As I was saying, Thor was almost made vulnerable last week. We know that it's going to be vulnerable this week because all the control systems for Thor have been cleared.
Yeah.
So watch out this weekend. Thor's
get
going
your
to get
2
hammered.
million. Get your 2 million. Like, if you can't get in before Thursday, like, really try hard now to maybe do a little bit because it's probably going to be gone.
Is seriously nobody going to say Thor's Day?
Thor's Day.
Thank you.
I said it now.
Good.
So yeah, it'll be vulnerable. If you want that 6th McThargoid star, then this is your opportunity to. So it will be now eventually the that time of the week again.
Store alert!
Quo
Yes, we've got some extra skins that we didn't cover last week. We have one new Type 8 skin, which is a yellow one. So it's very similar to the kind of pattern design that was there yesterday, but obviously yellow is the base color instead of, say, red or green. It looks actually quite nice in yellow. For some reason, I think a Type 8 works really well in yellow-based colors. Maybe because I just think, Tonka toy. But we've also got new Python skins for the Mark II. So if you were, these look a little bit more conservative than the ones we've had in the past.
Camos, aren't they?
They
The
are.
old school ones.
So the basic, as like it says, the basic colours are still for the ARX price. But still, so yep, there we have the store alert. Anybody interested in those ship skins?
Not really.
I quite like the Type 8 one. I quite
The
like
yellow
the
one.
new the yellow Type 8 one looks quite neat. The Python I've just bought, but I got that really nice sort of ice paint job that we were looking at last week for that because I thought that looks nice.
Yeah,
Did that
The
come
white with the
it?
blue on
Did you
it.
buy the? Did you buy the kind of more expensive package where you get that with it, or did you just buy it?
No, I just got the paint because the Python you can buy with credits now, so you don't need to buy the Python.
Gotcha. Cool. Neat.
What are your feelings on the new ship kit? Because we didn't have a lot of information about the new ship kit last week. We just knew that it was coming. The ship kit doesn't. I know it's the same price as like ship kits where there are alternatives for like tails and wings and stuff. But it only has one of each. It doesn't have like multiple choices for the tail. It doesn't have multiple choices for the wings, and it doesn't have multiple choices for the nose. Because I was kind of excited. I might have mentioned that I thought it looked like the Normandy from the game that I occasionally play.
You may have mentioned it in passing. Yes,
it looked a little. It reminded me a little bit of the Normandy, and but I didn't like the big fins on the back and stuff. But I'm not paying 16,000 ARX.
It's for two little prongs.
To give it the prongs at the front. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I hear you. We've had that. Sorry,
go on, Ack, first.
I was just going to say this. I feel like this isn't the first time. I'm sure we've had another ship kit where there was almost no. There weren't loads of options. It's like the options were put the bit on or don't.
Yeah.
Really, I've got to ask this. I mean, surely the ship, if you buy a ship kit, it doesn't exclude other ship kit parts from being used.
No, true, but then I'd have to pay 33,000 ARX for two different ship kits.
Yeah, so you used to be able to buy a pack, didn't you? So it was like a ship kit pack where you would have a couple of wings, you'd have a couple of bits for the front, you'd have a couple of spoilers for the back, and it was all one package rather than you pay for one set of prongs or maybe a different set of prongs at the front, or you pay per wing.
Yeah, the strike ship kit, for example, like the one that came out with the Python originally, the one that you got when you paid for the bigger bundle, that one has two of each with it. I just think it's a little. It feels a little disappointing to then charge the same for just one. You know.
I don't want to give them ideas, but soon they'll be charging for the left and the right.
Oh no!
Just no. The fact that they can actually break it down to the individual components of a ship kit, they might end up doing that, which just means that you have to, as long as they have the price which reflects that. But yeah, I think we're seeing a little bit more of the what?
Is it because it also has a skin has skin options with it? Because of it, the Fang pack has got skin options with it. The Strike doesn't, so you get two different variants. Because I was just thinking, because I just saw Profane Pagan right in chat saying that the Hazard ship kit or that Exploration ship kit had no variants for spoilers or bumpers or wings either. But both of those also came with paints, so maybe that is the payoff effectively.
Yeah, Dark Karas says that there are exclusive colors. So that might be why. I mean,
That's
to
not
me,
new. Like the Raider ship kit for something like the
Yeah.
Aspects came with bits and paints. So you had.
Did it come with multiple different types of paints and multiple different things that
Yeah,
you
I
could
think
put
so.
on?
Yes.
I'm in the store.
I think it did.
Have a quick look.
I'll have a quick shifty. Why not? We're right here. The Raider kit.
Yeah. Is that what it was called? I think that's
Quite the one with all the spikes on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm sure there were ship kit options, like you said, maybe 2
There
for each
are.
position.
There are. I
and
think there's
paints.
3 for each position
Okay.
and paints.
There you go.
And
That's
that's the same price as the other as the other. So that's wild.
That's what value used to be like back in our day.
Back in the day, you had to walk uphill twice.
Right. Okay. I think we'll walk away from this at the moment, and we'll take an ad break, and we'll come back with a quick chat about the Type 8 itself.
Have you been missold PPI? Python Protection Insurance was missold if you didn't want it, ask for it, or need it.
I was missold Python Protection Insurance and I got a claim worth 3,000 credits.
At Cowell & McGrath, we are ready to pursue claims for pilots who were sold PPI, even though they didn't have an escape pod.
When my partner's ship was destroyed, the insurance became invalid. I settled out of court for enough credits to restart my narcotics and weapons shipping business.
Millions have been missold Python Protection Insurance they can never claim, simply because they don't have an escape pod. Why should you pay for not reading the small print?
My husband was missold PPI. As a result of our claim, we now own Jupiter.
Cowell & McGrath, turning your carelessness into profitable lawsuits.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid. Tickle Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
Teach them their weakness and how to exploit them.
Now rip out the hearts. 1 by 1. I don't want to.
Do it. Using the tool. Do it. Now stomp on its face. Smash its face in.
I've got them.
Tickle Me Thargoid, available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
Are you a commander who's tired of interstellar injustices? Do you find yourself constantly needing to express your displeasure? Look no further. Introducing the Manticore Pitchfork, crafted for the discerning commander who demands more than just a plasma gun to make their point. Made from ultra-durable, premium materials, these pitchforks are designed to handle even the most heated encounters with unruly aliens, malfunctioning droids, or pesky space pirates. Whether you're settling a dispute over asteroid mining rights or rioting about a non-compulsory feature, the Manticore Pitchfork has got you covered. With its sleek design and unbeatable durability, you'll be the envy of every commander in the galaxy. The Pitchfork will be in stores later this year, but if you cannot wait until then, you can get 3 months early access by visiting your nearest Frontline Solutions. Order today, and while stocks last, receive a free Displeasure Beacon. This lightweight handheld device combines all the functionality of a naked flame, but with 0 oxygen requirements. Now you can wield your torches in space, and even for a small fee, change their colour. The Manticore Pitchfork, when 280 characters aren't enough.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Excellent. Right, we're going to have a quick roundup and then go onto the community response to the Type 8 update. And so that's quick thoughts on the ship and the engineering change that came with it now that we've had some time to use it in hangar. So quickly, we will start off with Alec.
What? Type 8? I haven't got one. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, have you had a chance to do any of the engineering work? And has it made a difference?
Sorry. You caught me off guard. I was looking at something else.
Sorry.
I see what you mean. That's right. Not really, because as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm hustling a buckyball race. But the only thing I did is I went to a HGE in a outbreak system, and sure enough, basically there was more pharmaceutical isolators than I could possibly ever want. And I was full before I'd skipped them all. So that was good.
Well,
yeah, that's all I've had time to play with so far.
Excellent. Chris Mark 4.
I have had a chance to play about a little bit. I have not tried a Type 8 yet. However, I have done a bit of engineering, a bit of material gathering. I went to high-grade emissions and got all of the materials. I have not had the chance to try raw material gathering or encoded material gathering to see if that has improved any or not. But the fact that they have lowered some of the engineers, the Odyssey engineers, meant that I did have enough already in my stock to unlock Hero Ferrari and Wellington Beck. So now I can do more of my suit engineering stuff. Yay! Finally.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's it. They lowered the barrier to entry and I snuck right in. So finally.
Hero with your cape.
A hero with my cape. It was like, finally, I can get in. So yeah, I've now unlocked 2 of the Odyssey engineers. I flew about and did that the other day. Like I say, I've been going around engineering my new Python Mark II. I do find it weird. I kind of see what you meant, Psychic, last week when you were talking about the rolls being instant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you do a 1 push, 2 push, 3 push, and you get there. It would be nice if you were able to just do the full roll.
Yeah.
If you had the materials to do the full roll. I understand, obviously, if you've not got enough to complete an entire, grade 5, for example, if you've got like 2 rolls at grade 5 or something available, then let you do individual rolls. But then maybe a second button that's just do the thing.
Yeah.
would be useful now that it's not quite the casino style engineering update.
Yeah. Fair enough. Psychic?
So much the same as last week. I, like you, Colin, had the opportunity to do have a little play about last week. On Thursday, I went and I filled up all of my engineering materials in the space of 5 hours. It was still tricky to find the certain high grades and the certain system states and the high grades that gave out the items that I wanted. That was still quite tricky in some cases, but not super tricky. And like within 4.5 hours, I'd filled everything with the exception of the focus crystals and biotech conductors. So like it's all entirely full. So I'm not going to have to touch it for a little while. Do I think that in general it's a good thing? Yes. Am I going to miss certain aspects of the old way of doing it? Also, yes. The two things aren't entirely mutually exclusive, but it is. It does leave me wondering where the game and where the gameplay loops are going to be now. That said, I haven't done the encoded materials. I don't know how easy that's going to be, and I haven't done anything to do with grabbing suit stuff either. So the jury's still out on that. I just think I'm one of those crazy people who kind of enjoyed that part of the grind and going and getting those bits. So I am going to miss it a little tiny bit, but at the same time, I understand why it was needed.
Yeah. I'm okay. Finally, the Chris Mark 5.
So engineering, I enjoyed getting more stuff from the HGE. I didn't enjoy trying to track down certain items that can appear in the same system state as other materials. So every HGE you go to can be a complete lottery dice roll thing to see if you get what you want. You might not, and that's kind of frustrating a bit. Or you pull up the system and there's no high grade emissions, but it's not too bad. You just hop around and you get one eventually, but it might not be what you need. So I spent quite a while trying to find one bloody material I got there. Haven't tried encoded, haven't tried raw yet. I assume encoded and raw probably haven't had the drop rate increase, be my guess.
There's certain places that have. So, like, for example, Jameson's Cobra, there's more points to scan there now. So I think you only have to relog once to fill.
I was more meaning for like the legitimate collection, if you know what I mean. I know that Jameson's is a nice way of doing it. But
I know, I was being an arsehole.
And I assume like the crystalline shards aren't dropping more shards when you bop them.
I don't know.
Brain trees are now just overbearing with fruit. Just stuff. If you bump into a brain tree, just like 20 materials just like fall on the ground around you.
From brain trees.
Oh, well, actually, has anybody? Well, nobody's tried it yet. I take it.
Not yet. No.
I'm sure I read an account somewhere. Somebody saying they hadn't buffed those at all.
Yeah, Mark Gamer's just saying in chat now that they wondered how they've buffed rules. Actually, they tried brain tree bombing earlier, but it seemed the same drop rate for you.
Right, I see. I mean, for myself, I haven't done any ship engineering, but I have done as the same as the Chris Mark IV. I managed to get 2 new on-foot engineers in my back pocket, which is great. And all I had to do for it was actually run missions. I didn't actually have to go looking for them. They were part of the mission rewards. And when you look through the mission rewards, the amount of stuff you get, it's amazing. I at last I can get manufacturing instructions and schematics that I need just from the missions before I even go raiding bases, and the fact that I was able to get, I've been stuck in this kind of limbo for the last 6 to 9 months, not able to get these last bloomin' settlement defense plans, not settlement assault plans, because I got tons of those blasted things, but the defense plans were hard to come across. And then lo and behold, one mission, that was all I needed.
Nice.
Yes. And then I'm looking through all the requirements for actually being able to put the engineers upgrades in, because I'm upgrading the suits and the weapons first to open the slots, and then I'll engineer the slots into them. But to me, this has just opened up engineering full stop, because it was a closed off game loop to me completely. It was just
like I
the
say, I haven't
grind was too
touched
big.
on-foot engineering at all, so I'm looking forward to getting into it now, especially from what you're saying, Colin, like doing missions just to fill in the gaps. Does anyone know if the third-party ED engineer tool has kind of caught up with these changes yet?
Actually, I haven't tried
Material
it yet.
Helper, do you mean?
Yeah.
Material Helper, I had an update for on Thursday when I loaded into the game, and they'd updated all of the differences to like the unlocks and things like that. So that's good to go.
Excellent. That means I'll have to reload it.
And pretty solid. I think I remember commenting, "Holy shit, they're quick!"
Excellent. Right. Okay. We'll quickly move on to the questions. The community questions for this was: now that engineering has rebalanced with the Titan 8 update, how do you feel about it? So, Chris Mark 5, would you like to start us off?
Yes, I went from K to Chaos. I like it. I have all the stuff now. Chaos happy. Chaos sleep.
Chaos responded to that on Sunday. Chaos might have been a little bit.
Chaos approves. We have had Nicey, who has been in touch. Honestly, seems a little bit of overkill, but still better than what it was. Removing the RNG was a great choice, though.
I don't know, I miss it.
I have got Silas Resi, who says, I would attribute that to FDev game mastering and helping commanders get upgraded kit prior to battle. Maybe something big is coming. Yeah, somebody on last week's show, one of you guys mentioned, was this, I think it might have been Chris Mark 5, suggesting, was this for a reason? That,
yeah.
Are we going to need all this engineering soon? I don't know. I'm not sure I believe that, but.
Well, we've got to engineer all the blooming jump drives to start with.
That's true.
And also, all the new ships, they need all the engineering.
That's true. Yeah, no, good point.
So
You don't have to buy the new ships. It's not.
Oh, you do. You've got to buy them. You've got to get them to grade 5.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Spendok, support the company because that's the only way that you can do it. No, go ahead. Fill your boots.
They've put new ships in front of us. Of course, we want the new ships. If we wait until they come out, I mean, as soon as I had that Python Mark II available, I wanted myself a Python Mark II.
Well, amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Keys me my new ship. Thanks.
We've had that 90s kid has got in touch and said it should have happened years ago. With engineering, credits are also incredibly inflated long before this in the same way. We need to go the other direction with that. It won't be widely accepted. Wins and losses should mean something. And I really don't care if Psychic likes it, my guy. My guy, I don't know where to start with this. A, why be so antagonistic, you weirdo? B, I would, if I was on camera, I would nod at the screen and you'd know what I was talking about.
Dear. Right, well, I've got Commander McRaven. I don't know why I said it in that accent, but I'm slowly getting used to her. I'm taking, they mean the Type 8. I'm in two minds. She's all party at the back, but business up front, as I find the trucker's cab very unsexy. Reminds me of a U-Wing from Rogue One, so I bought the white paint and ship kit too. Always happy with more ships, though.
So is Commander McRaven saying the Type 8's a mullet?
It does sound that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She's now the flying Tonka toy mullet. It is feeling like, the people who fly a Type 8 have to have a mandatory mullet. Oh, wow, Chris. Good luck.
Oh, God. Okay. Oof. Right, here we go. One from Profane Pagan. Commander Profane Pagan. I'm surprised myself how much I like the changes. On foot, the update is fantastic, and more people are engaging with the BGS than before, which is a huge plus. Have you seen the bump in active daily player numbers since the update went live? And that's just Steam. I was skeptical about the deluge of mats in ship engineering, but I realised my immersion dictates my methods. And I am not planning farming HGEs. I really appreciate that FDev is offering alternative to relog farmers instead of restricting them from cheesing the game. I still miss my randomized rolls from engineering. I like role playing and rolling dice is fine by me, but now I'm forced to play fixed number of mats, and I have no chance to pay less. I will never get used to the two fixed mats for grade 2 rolls. Haha. Love you guys.
Love you too, Profane Pagan. I'll say it back, seeing as no one else will. Mean.
I wave at Profane Pagan every week in the bar. Profane Pagan's in the bar right now. We all love Profane Pagan.
Love you, PP.
So, Colin, you said you'd seen the bump in active daily player numbers since update. What's it like?
Well, according to Steam charts, it's gone up by the average player count has gone up by 250, and it's really weird because the peak player has gone up by more than 2,000. So that's quite good. It's nowhere near the levels of the beginning of update 18 though, which was when we could attack the Thargoids. But I think it's also helping coming out of the summer slump, because when you actually look at the the Steam charts, summer is always the one where it really dips down low and then builds back up again, which is weird because I thought in summer everybody be playing more, but
It's too hot.
it's too hot, obviously.
We've had Commander Katiana.
Who's
Never heard of
that?
her. I'm just sad you won't have to teach anyone that doesn't need to be that it doesn't need to be completely filled up before you start on the next tier. I think I'll miss the shock followed by the immediate rage.
I am going to miss that too.
I know that Katiana doesn't sign her one off saying that she loves us.
That's really mean, Kate.
I'm a bit upset.
Also upset, really upset.
Noted. I've got Commander Schnails, who says, I think I've already voiced my thoughts, but I think on the ship engineering side, the HDEs might have gone a little step too far. However, I'm equally not sure I'd want it wound back, winky face. Other than that, I'm generally happy. I think it's an improvement. I'd still like a slider or the like to pick how engineered I want to take something and a single button press to get there. But I totally get that this rebalance was all about how much better can we make it without an awful lot of development work. It's a spreadsheet update. That said, the changes on the on-foot engineering will help, but has it gone far enough? The mats are still a nightmare to find. Colin to comment on that in a minute, maybe. It is at least now more accessible. I even managed to upgrade a couple of suits with what I already had, so that has to be an improvement. Are mats still a nightmare to find? Are there still some rare mats that you can't get from missions?
Well, yeah, there are. Mats are certain mats are still reasonably rare to get, but it's because the recipes have been lowered means that thankfully you don't need as many of them.
Yeah.
So the mountain doesn't look as high when you've only got to get 5 of them. When it used to be 15 and you were getting one every 3 missions or so like that. So yeah, it's not flattened the mountain, if you like, but it's turned it into a hill.
I see what you mean. If something's rare but you only need 5, you know, the end is kind of in sight from the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good luck,
15 is so many more than 5. It's ridiculous when you think about it. I don't begrudge that I've done it already, but it's cool that people are giving the chance. Am I right? Now, did I see this? Did I dream this? I've had so many weird dreams, but did I see this on show notes or not on show notes, on patch notes, that they've taken away all requirements for power regulators?
Yes, they have.
Yeah. I mean,
there you go. I mean, there's one big barrier gone in just an instant.
Huge barrier gone, yeah, because it's not easy to get them unless you're flying to crash sites all the time.
But how is the power in my suit now being regulated if they've taken away all the power regulators?
Well,
are we all at risk of explosion?
Where would you fit it? Because those power regulators are a bit chunky.
Yeah, but apparently we've got more space in the backpack now.
We do. I can fit 106. What was it? 160? Yeah, because it's gone up to 80. So with a giant, with a backpack size increase, which doubles the size, I can fit 180 in these bad boys in here.
And they look the same size. They don't expand to fit everything in. You just imagine you get a huge hunchback because basically you're filled up.
Listen, I cannot and will not disclose the Gallifreyan technology that has gone into making my backpack on my Artemis suit. Not my Artemis, my Maverick suit. Commander Evo Flash has got in touch and said, first off, it badly needs an upgrade me to max grade 5 button. The raw tedium of fully engineering a vanilla ship is very painful. As for the update and direction engineering has taken, engineering has changed over time from being a back of the garage tinkering and messing about experiment to an over-the-counter experience. For me, it's no longer engineering. It's just upgrading, which is fine, and I like it in the sense of it being easier to try new ship concepts. However, I miss the uniqueness that old school engineering gave us. Remember the Class 5 Cutter Shield quest? No, I blew so many mats trying to get it. When I did, I was absolutely delighted. We don't have those oddities anymore. Everyone is guaranteed the opportunity to have the same, which is fairer, I guess, but it's less varied. In regard of the materials, I accept that the change is strongly divided by many, but one of the problems of Elite for me is in fact its strength. It's hard. It's really hard and time consuming. This makes the results something to savour, be proud of and enjoy. Filling up mats, engineering ships needed planning and time. Personally, I've loved that bit. Now it's easier, so it's less special. I understand why it has happened, but I hope Elite can retain its distant pinnacleness of goals. Possibly time for me to pick up the Elite 5 CQC quest, the most distant of all quests. Sorry, I went on a bit. It seems I have a lot to say. I think Evo Flash kind of feels a similar way to the way that I do, but without the Class 5 Cutter Shield quest. I skipped that section.
No, I mean the original the original engineering was god awful in my opinion. Yeah,
Agreed.
you could engineer it up, but then if you wanted one of the weird random effects, say for instance healing beam lasers, I really wanted healing beam lasers on my ass to begin with, and the amount of mats I burnt through trying to get that RNG thing to fall in the right place was god awful. And such, I mean, yeah, it was fun because you were probably one of a select few that had that modification, but getting there was just too much, if you see what I mean. And I much prefer the way things have gone. But I've got Commander Duck 1 here. I do feel bad for those who did the work / grind as now. It is much easier, but I do feel that it's a step in the right direction. Is it perfect? No. I went from 1,300 hours of gameplay and only having grade 3 weapons and suits due to luck and buying them, to now having a G5 and G4 weapons. My take is that other than a couple of specific materials, if you're playing the game, you should be coming across these materials in an organic way and not need to use these third-party sites combined with some cheesing practices to get the materials you need. In my opinion, just my opinion, but wasn't fun gameplay. Well, that goes down to the main problem with Elite in the first place. There's something you want that will make you better at the thing that you do, that you want to do. But in order to do that, you've got to do something else. And that something else isn't as good as, what you really want to do. But you've got to do it. It's... Yeah. The whole point is you want to get to the bit you want to do.
But that's the reason that we play, though, right? Because that's the game. There's the dish of the game is I want to do something, but there are like 90 steps for me to be able to get to do. Well, not 90, but there's like 5 steps for me to be able to achieve this goal that I wish to achieve. When those steps disappear and it is easier to achieve that goal, where is the dish? What is the game at that point? And that's where my slight concern comes in. Yes, I agree that I think it's a good change, but that's where I sit with being concerned about it.
There's something I'd like to mention about the third-party sites is without them, there is no way to find anything material-wise in the game. Because the game doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't even have a little bit in the codex to say this material can be mostly found in these type of systems. Can you imagine if you didn't have access to anything that told you where core dynamic components came from or anything like that? It would just be a nightmare.
I don't know about the on-foot stuff, but the ship stuff, if you hover over the material in your right-hand panel, doesn't it tell you? I'm sure it tells you things like, oh, these are often found in, aftermath.
It does now, but I don't think it does for on-foot stuff.
No, that's what I was saying. I think it always has for ship stuff, but maybe not for on-foot stuff.
I did
Obviously,
hover,
it should.
but I don't remember seeing for because Core Dynamics are just boom federal systems, I think. And I don't remember it seeing anything like that. But
or is it in the engineer itself? When you don't have enough, can you click on the grayed out thing in the engineer itself and go, and there's a little pop up that tells you roughly where to get it.
The fact that we are struggling to think of where it is probably means it's not prominent enough wherever it is, if it does exist.
Very good point.
It's like if you were to go into the codex, it was sitting there in the codex, it would just be like, right, the codex is your one-stop shop for knowledge within the game. It would be really interesting to see someone without all of the online tools that we use now to make Elite run. Sort of go, right, oh, what do I use now? Oh, well, I can't look for that, or I can't Google that.
Actually, I came across a YouTuber the other day. He'd done a YouTube which is Elite with playing in 2024, and he said no, and it was specifically because of that. He said it was too hard to. I'm not using any external tools or anything like that, and it's too hard for me as a casual space sim user. So I'm thinking someone who plays No Man's Sky a lot. To get into, and they're going like, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that No Man's Sky does quite well, is if you sort of set yourself, you can set anything as a kind of mission. So you can go, oh, I want to build a Whatsit for my settlement, and it will pop up in the corner and go, all right, to build the Whatsit for your settlement, you're going to need this, 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 and this. And then you can highlight it and it will tell you where you can find that, or give you sort of hints and tips, and basically walks you through every step of the process. So yeah, that's something that No Man's Sky does a little bit better. Because even if you've got to craft a component, even if you've got to craft a component to then build your Whatsit, it'll break down that for you as well.
Yeah. Chris, Mark 5.
Yes, I have one from Osrillian. I think
that's what I guess would.
Yeah, I think there were good quality changes, a step closer to an engineering system that respects more of your time. I agree, bar my one fun HGE rant.
My favourite weather system, Steak Typhoon, has been in touch. I finally met Etienne Dorn and may have done a terrible thing.
Admittedly off topic, but still.
we all carry that little bit of guilt with us.
What's a family of 4?
A family of 16 now.
It also feels illegal that Steak Typhoon hasn't met Etienne Dorn yet.
Yeah, the name checks out.
100% accurate.
Yeah, he's Commander Typhoon before, now he's Steak Typhoon.
Finally, Mr. Typhoon, I've been expecting you. Right, buckle in, folks. I have Terakov, who has some thoughts. I can see why FDev did it this way, but I do not think that they achieved the best possible experience. I don't do on-foot gameplay outside of exobiology, so this reply is based on ship engineering only. To me, it seems as if FDev took a cheap option. I consider that out of the possible solutions, this required the minimum of actual recoding, the rest being analysis and tinkering with numbers. What did FDev achieve? Firstly, effectively for map gathering, they made a single HGE signal source achieve much of what multiple relogs to achieve previously. Effectively, we know what you're going to relog, so you might as well have it all anyway. For me, this is a pain point rather clumsily sawn off. I've not tried the increased mission rewards yet, but they sound good to me. Secondly, they took the randomness out of the engineering process with fixed progress increments. For me, the old process could be frustrating when it took 3 rolls to get the last 1% of a G5. However, if these upgrades were so predictable, then why are they not on modules when we buy them? For me, some randomness is good. For me, a minimum increment per roll could have been better. That increment would be at least 10%, but would otherwise vary with the engineer access level and the grade of modification. Thirdly, you now have to complete an entire grade before you can start on the next higher grade. Here they've taken something away. I'd have preferred that this and the randomness with capped minima were the solution. I can see how these changes might bring some commanders back and sell new ships. However, they also bypass what was meant to be a progression capability pacing mechanic. I guess it's one step in the direction of increasing player count and securing the future of the game. But will it be the same game, or will progression continue to be dumbed down in future content? Does paced progression even have a place in games these days? A future discussion point, maybe.
Wow. Yes, he does make good points about the randomness.
I do agree with the roles. Actually, I didn't comment when you asked me earlier if I'd done any, and I haven't. But I can just tell from hearing about it that, yeah, I don't really like the. It's a really subtle point, and I think it sort of touches on it at the end there. But the minute you make it entirely predictable, you almost do get to a point of why have it at all? Why not just give us? I don't know. But yeah, I think it may have gone too far. Anyway.
Okay, and finally, Claire.
I was writing down the very end of what Terracoff said as a future question of the week. Bear with me a moment, because I think that's a really, really good one, and I have written it down. It is written it down, and I'm look out for that on some Sunday coming up. A question of the week provided by Terracoff, because that was really cool. Epiphis has been in touch. It was very nice to see you on Saturday and Friday. Friday and Saturday, mate. It was good to see you. I love you very much. I'm getting mushy on main again. Epiphis is overall happy with most of the changes. No more of those 0.001 rolls. On the engineering seems better. Missions give some nice rewards, although I'm not sure what to do with all the power regulators I have in stock. I feel the ship engineering has been let down a little. They seem to have reinforced the farm grind locations rather than encouraging collecting as you go. I think I would rather have seen an increase of the number you collect at a time, say up from 3 to 10, for example, rather than boosting one location for each material type. High grades for manufactured, Crash Anacondas for raw, Jameson's Cobra for uncoded. For the ship-based missions, it seems to be mostly the illegal missions giving materials, and I'm not going to be killing 80 ships or innocent civilians for 20 materials and having hours of notoriety to wear off. I wish the bug with SRV launching materials into space was fixed. Between that and materials getting stuck between cargo containers, I found raw material gathering at the Crash Anaconda site still quite frustrating. Still, it was nice to fully engineer a new ship and finish off engineering on some others with plenty of materials left over. Which is a nice side, but also I don't know.
Yeah. At the moment, overall, I get the feeling that it's in the right direction, but they may have overcooked it a little.
Yeah, it's. I feel like the question that I sound like a member of Sorted Food when I say, is it a step in the right direction or an overcorrection? But I feel like that it is that's a really, really hard line to navigate, and I think they've slipped off in the direction of overcorrection in some instances. Not all of it. I don't think it's consistent across the board either. So I don't know. I hope there's more gameplay to be had from other things that they're planning on adding to the game, and that will make up for some of the gameplay that's been removed now.
Yeah. Well, I've seen in the chat there's a whole load of suggestions that maybe something's coming in Power Play 2.0 that will involve these mats. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Or just different gameplay, more gameplay that other things can be getting involved with, maybe not even involving the mats. Mats on the engineering. We used to say that the real currency in Elite was engineering materials, didn't we?
We did.
And now that is so much cheaper. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'd like to see it be a little bit more consistent. And if I can fill up my encodeds in 4.5 hours, that'd be brilliant.
I mean, if not, makes a very good point in the chat. So if they'd halved or quartered the HGE yields, players would just relog anyway. They'd just
100%,
relog
yeah.
twice, 3 times. So, yeah. Right, we're going to leave all that there. We've got some suggestions for future shows. So I've just seen the time, so I think we're going to have to quickly shout for any other business. And if you haven't got that, then we'll go straight to the shout-outs. No, everybody fine? Okay, well, our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday from 8:30, and you can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. We don't know whether they'll be doing a show this week, but obviously ECM will be quite high on their priority list. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/EliteDangerousCQC. We're also giving shout-outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts, so say hello to the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well, the wonderful Loose Screws, and if you speak French...
I just let the funky music do the talking.
Yes, there's the Elite Dangerous podcast, which every time I say this, I keep on meaning to start doing their little adventures. So
and they're still releasing more.
There's so many. I need to get on that. Holy shit.
I know. So following on this, we'll have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude, and to be honest, I'm dreading it. And thanks to all those who have chipped in on the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders that have been hanging around. Chris Mark 5, 4, rather.
We have had quite a few in the bar. We've had Varen, we've had Profane Pagan, Genie Van ZXL, Arachnophobos, NockPN2, Evil Flash, Soka 42, and actual genuine Hugh J. Appendage Esquire has been in the bar.
Excellent.
Play Elite. Why is he playing Elite?
There's a lot more people. There's a lot more people joining Chris in the bar here. Keep it up, everybody. We just had confirmation from the Hutton Orbital Truckers that there will be a show this Thursday. So obviously they've already recovered. And I've got to carry on. So special thanks to the wonderful Commander Tokuso, GN Tracks, Alan Stroud, who have all created music for the show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, then you can find the contact links in the home/contact us menu on the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to the Chris Mark 5.
You're welcome.
Thanks to the Chris Mark 4.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Commander Psychic.
You're welcome, but also see you next week for episode 500.
Thank you to Commander Alec Turner.
Thanks, Colin, and good night all. That is true.
Of course, we do have to say a special thanks to the Chris Mark 5, who's been in a dual role tonight for doing the tech today. So until next time, Commanders, fly safe, and if you can't do that, fly your pants.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word.
Space can be done.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 13th of August 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we have a look at a recently leaked picture of a forthcoming ship. We examine why Pranav Antal's bid to outsmart the Sirius Corporation seems doomed to failure. But first, it's time to earn your rewards, as a defenceless Titan Thor nears destruction.
Titan Thor has no remaining systems under its control, making it almost inevitable that it will become vulnerable to direct attack on Thursday and will explode at some point over the weekend. There are now 2 ways to earn rewards. If you help take back any of the Thargoid-controlled systems, you will earn a random selection of engineering materials on the following Thursday. So it makes sense to go round any conveniently close Thargoid-controlled systems and shoot at least one Thargoid scout in each. Then there's the decal and paint job you can earn for helping to dispatch the Titan itself. To earn this, you're best waiting until Thor becomes vulnerable on Thursday, and then take your cold running ship, kitted out with caustic sink launchers and a Thargoid pulse neutralizer, a nanite torpedo launcher and some AX missile launchers, shoot out the Titan heat vents using the nanite torpedo, and then, when the heat core is exposed, use the AX missiles to do as much damage as you can. Run away, wait, and then repeat until you've earned at least 2 million credits in Pilots Federation combat bonds. For your trouble, you'll earn an as yet unspecified paint job and an extra star on your Titan decal. If you don't already have a Titan bomber build, Commander Mechan has developed an even better build for the Python Mark II. Version 3.1 of this build is specialised for Titan bombing alone, so it can't be used for shooting other Thargoids. In the hands of a skilled pilot, it can strip the Titan heat core down to 0% health with no assistance from other pilots. It requires Ramtar's anti-Guardian Zone resistance modification on its shard cannons. If you don't have the materials available for that, AX missile racks are an alternative. If you want to apply the anti-Guardian Zone resistance modification, and you probably should, then you need to blow up Banshees, mainly at Spire sites, and collect up the tactical core chips they drop. Splash damage from AX missiles and collector limpets used from a ship is, according to Commander Vulcarius, the most efficient way to get these annoyingly hard to gather items. After Thor, there will be just 2 more Titans. If we proceed at the pace we are, then they're very likely to be eliminated completely, well before the end of the year. Once they're gone, they're unlikely to be seen ever again, so make sure you're part of history before it's too late.
Sim Guru Pranav Antal, the leader of the Utopian Commune, seems likely to fail in his attempt to keep one step ahead of Sirius Corporation, with commanders apparently either unwilling or unable to help. The Mystic One is trying to bring his library up to date, which will give him an intellectual head start over Li Yong-ri. Antal believes that Sirius is trying to steal Utopian intellectual property, and that gathering data from information sources around the galaxy is the way that Utopia can retain its lead over its main corporate rival. He initiated 2 appeals last week, one for commodities to keep the library running effectively, and another for encoded material that'll bolster the content of the virtual library. The first of these appeals looks likely to hit its first rung of achievement, and therefore to be counted a limited success. However, after 5 days, only about 1/50th of the desired new knowledge has been gathered, with estimates saying that 2% of the target will have been achieved, when the appeal closes early on Thursday morning. So there'll be a shiny new wing to the library, but no books to put in it. It's not entirely clear why such a small amount of data has been contributed, given there's an encoded materials trader at the station ready to swap the materials you have for the materials Antal wants. It may be that despite the dramatic increase in the supply of manufactured materials last week, many of the traditional ways of gathering encoded materials, such as encoded signal sources, are no more bountiful than they ever were. Dav's hope seems entirely unaffected by the alleged changes. Encoded materials therefore remain in relatively short supply. Perhaps commanders are choosing to hang on to their hard-earned materials rather than trade them for an illusory paint job. With even the bottom level of attainment seemingly out of reach, it seems unlikely that there's much motivation for commanders to try to rescue the day. Li Yongri will be laughing his best villainous laugh as he surveys the disaster that's unfolding in Utopia.
A fleeting glimpse of a new ship has been leaked. With no provenance, it's hard to be sure what it shows, but the thrusters on that thing are huge. The image, believed to have been taken by Commander Chris Gregory, shows slightly open hangar bay doors, and through the doors there is the tail of a ship that's unlike anything we've seen before. Workmen are using arc welders on this presumably unfinished prototype, which has two thrusters set vertically, another thruster in between, but either protruding further or slightly offset to the left. Two further thrusters are visible left and right, but the asymmetric positions show we may be just looking at one side of a much larger ship, with the centre line off to the right, behind the Hangar 07 sign. Speculation has been that the ship is likely to be manufactured by Gutermeyer, Zorgon Peterson or Zout Kruger. It's possible that this new ship might be a reimagining of the Zorgon Peterson Panther Clipper, which was shelved when it was realised it wouldn't fit through the mail slot. Given its size, it's unlikely to be suitable for exploration, so it might be another large hauler or a large combat vessel, or possibly built for something new. Those looking for clues have noted that Hangar number 7 is normally a medium pad, and the character in the foreground appears to be wearing an Artemis suit, so nothing can be ruled out at this stage. If it follows the release cadence of the Python Mark II and the Lakon Type 8, it's probable that the new ship, whatever it is, will become available for early access in early November, with the final ship of 3310 to be announced just before it stops being 3310 for availability in early 3311.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.